What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Out of the Basement. Today, we are doing our February Blu-ray update. Of course, I'm Nate. I'm joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And Steven.
Howdy.
Of course, it almost was a slow month, but then me and Bucky went a little hard. I went out of town, I hit up a couple family videos, got a lot of cheap Blu-rays. Justin's got his little pile. You know, the usual.
Little pile of pile. It's a little puddle.
The usual.
It's like when I go poop.
But
just a little pile.
As always, we always have
pellets.
Bangers. Always have bangers. Got some 4Ks. Got some screams. Got some arrows.
Got some doubles.
Got some doubles. So let's get right into it. Steven, why don't you go first with your DVD pickups for the month?
All right. I did pick up a few DVDs. The first one is Backdraft in a CD jewel case for some reason. I found it. It's not a screener. It's the full thing. It's widescreen.
With the slip.
Yeah, I didn't even pay $1 for this. It was some chump change. I just thought it was interesting. I've never seen one like this before, and that's the story of that one. This one I found, again, I only paid some chump change for it, but this is Slipstream with Mark Hamill, Bill Paxton, some other F. Murray Abraham or something like that. Doesn't have a Blu-ray, limited DVD releases. It's not like it's that hard to find, but it just looks like a really shitty movie and right up my alley. It's supposed to be sci-fi. So we'll see what that entails. The next one is a little bit of a harder one to find, and that is Joe's Apartment. It's the first ever MTV movie, but it does star Jerry O'Connell, so that's an immediate red flag. I don't know if I dreamed this up, but I thought I heard this was getting a Blu-ray, but I'll believe that when I see it. So I've never seen it before, Joe's Apartment. And then, completing my widescreen limited edition Star Wars DVD collections, Return of the Jedi. Nice. So finally own all of them with the Laserdisc rip on it. So basically just for collector's purposes. Obviously, Harmy's the man. Support Harmy.
Star Wars despecialized.
So, yep, Return of the Jedi. And then, one I just found today that is strangely hard to find, and that is the movie Flower, starring Zoe Deutsch, Tim Heidecker, Adam Scott, and Catherine Hahn. And it's I can't wait to watch this one, because people seem to not like it, but the trailer looks great.
It's got Tim Heidecker in it. We're in.
Yeah. You gotta support Tim and also Eric. So excited to watch this one, Flower. And that concludes my DVDs of the month of February.
Buck's Hot DVD Minute segment.
Yep. The first picks for me are a movie and its sequel, and we have Laid to Rest, which only has a DVD in the United States, and then the sequel, Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2, which does have a Blu-ray in the United States. Kind of annoying, but these are pretty good slasher movies, totally for fans of the genre. The first one has Lena Headey in it from Game of Thrones.
You mean it's not a Lamb of God biopic?
Nope, not a Lamb of God biopic.
Throw me a dislike for
The
that
first
one.
movie does have original music from Suicidal Tendencies, so that's pretty great, right, boys?
Respect.
Something? Laid to Rest. Justin, your first pick of the month?
Well, my first pick, I recently cleared out my Amazon wish list. So the first one I got was Bronson by Nicholas Winding Refn. I did like Drive and Only God Forgives a lot more, but I still found enjoyment in this one. Tom Hardy's acting is it's off the wall. I think his acting range is truly showcased in this one. So it's worth a watch just for his performance alone. It's about England's most notorious and violent prisoner. Like, his crime that got him into prison wasn't even that bad, but he just kept on fighting, like, the guards, and ended up staying in prison for, like, 30-something years. So, it was a pretty interesting story, too, but I did like Only God Forgives and Drive a little more. Still found this one enjoyable, though.
That's a Magnet release.
Hey, they follow us on Instagram. Shout
Very
out
nice.
to you, Magnet. So Bucky and I, like I mentioned earlier, have a lot more Blu-ray pickups than J-Rick, so we're going to go 3 at a time. So Bucky, your next 3 movies.
Right. Well, the next 3 is another Danny Boyle movie, and this was graciously gifted to me by none other than Nate Martin himself. 127 hours. or Justin, one of you.
No.
Thank you.
No, I gave it to you.
Okay.
It was from my collection because I was going to get rid of it because it's just a good one-time watch.
Yeah, I actually have only seen this one time. But Danny Boyle is my dude, and my quest continues to own his filmography. I think
You're pretty close. I have to imagine.
Yeah, I think I do now. I think this completes it.
Dang.
No, Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
So 127 hours?
Yeah, if anyone was confused, I love that movie, and I didn't know Nate was getting rid of it.
Well, you can go to Big Lots and get it for $3.
That's where that copy
Well, no,
was
I
from.
have it.
Oh, okay. That was good.
That is the Big Lots edition.
And the next one is a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, The Basketball Diaries. I've never seen it. I hear nothing but great things about it. And I feel like this Blu-ray goes in and out of print. Or it's something, it's kind of wacky. I don't know what the deal is. But I've actually never seen it, so I'm very excited to watch this one. And the next one is a complete blind buy. And that is the movie Bridgend. I've never seen any of this director's other work, but it stars Hannah Murray from Game of Thrones. And that is Samuel Tarly's...
Gilly!
Gilly. I don't know why I can't remember Gilly's name. I like her character at Game of Thrones, so I don't know why I can't remember it. But anyways, yeah, it stars Gilly. It's inspired by true events. It looks strange, and it looks very kind of dark, like depressing, kind of about suicide in a town. But it doesn't have a Region A Blu-ray, so this is Region 2. Got this from Zavi. Origin.
Maybe a little mystical, maybe a little magical.
Could be a little mystical, could be a little magical, could be a little weird.
But it's okay. Next up for me, my first 3 of the month. I just bought this one and another one today. And it is 99 Homes, starring Michael Shannon and Andrew Garfield. This movie looked really interesting. It's got really high review scores. It had a brief theater run, so I wasn't able to check it out, but found it at Family Video, so...
Never even heard of that one.
Had to pounce on that one. And then this is a movie recommended to me by my buddy Alex all the time, and that is Killer Joe, starring Matthew McConaughey and Emilio Hirsch. It's also directed by William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist, so curious to check that one out.
Ooh.
And then a real stinker, but I had to get it for the collection, and that is Alien Resurrection, which I just watched last night. Had a revisit. Pretty bad, but, you know, I think it could be worse. I think there's worse Alien movies, and that's all I'll say about that.
Is there, though?
Alien Covenant. Justin, your next pick.
My next pick is... My next pick is also something that was cleared off of my Amazon wishlist, and that is Collateral.
Nice.
I haven't heard about this one until this year. Really, I just have never heard of it, and you know, apparently Tom Cruise is the villain,
I remember
which is a
watching
nice
it when that
change
came
of
out.
pace. You know, I do like Jamie Foxx.
It's a Michael
For
Mann
Django.
joint.
Yeah. So, really haven't heard much about this. I've never seen it. Still in the shrink wrap here. Because I always keep my Blu-rays in the shrink wrap until I watch them, of course. So, Collateral.
Steve, your next 3 picks.
Next 3 is kind of a mishmash. The first one is another one I got from Zavi, and this doesn't have a Region A Blu-ray either, and this is The Death of Stalin. It's a comedic look back at the historical event that was centered around when Stalin died. And I've watched the trailers. It looks really funny. Great cast. Steve Buscemi, Pop from Arrested Development.
Oh, nice.
Just a star-studded cast all around. It looks really funny. It looks like kind of one of those dry humor, almost maybe akin to a Wes Anderson type thing. Quick note though, Zavi US, I don't know what you're doing. I should have another one here, The Evil Within, but they've shipped all of my DVDs for the 3 for $20 sale separately, and I still haven't got the third one yet. So
Purchased all in the same order. Ship them separately.
So The Evil Within will be on March's collection video, but that's Stalin. The next one is a Stuart Gordon film.
I want to watch this so bad.
Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton. What else do you need to know? Castle Freak. Know nothing about this movie.
Just look at that cover.
It looks wonderful.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, you said the 3 magic words: Stuart Gordon, Jeffrey Combs, and
Barbara Crampton.
Yeah, so Castle Freak. And then the next one was a very lucky find.
True.
And that is the Region B Blu-ray of Raw, aka Grave, in this nice media book packaging here. I thought it was really cool. And love this movie. If you've not seen it yet, I think it's still on Netflix. It's called Raw on Netflix. And it's just a fantastic, interesting new take on the cannibal genre. And great acting in this. It is all in French. And great film.
My next 3 picks are some bangers, some horror. And that is, the first one up is The Houses October Built, which is like a found footage horror movie about haunted houses, which seemed really interesting to me. I got it for a very good price, and I've heard great things about it. A lot of YouTubers always talk about this movie, so I thought I'd finally pick it up. There is a sequel as well. Haven't seen either of them.
The cover of it looks like something you would find in like a Walmart bin.
Yeah, that's why I was always apprehensive to like pick it up or watch it, because the cover looks really bad, but then a bunch of, you know, like horror YouTubers were like, yeah, it's a really good movie, so I thought I'd give it a chance. And then next up is Digging Up the Marrow. This is written and directed by Adam Green, who did the Hatchet franchise. So I'm always down for some good old times with my boy Adam Green. I met him. He's a really nice guy. And Ray Wise is in this movie as well, so I know Steve's going to be sold on that one.
Sold.
And then...
the Swamp Thing himself.
Yes. Finally, House by the Cemetery from Blue Underground. This is a Lucio Fulci movie. One of my favorites from him. Totally weird, bananas, Italian horror film. Obviously doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's super gory. Right up my alley. House by the Cemetery.
All right, my next pick, continuing my Amazon purchases. This is The Sisters Brothers with the Slip. Nice.
Really want to watch this movie.
Yeah, I have not watched it yet, but I've heard interesting things, and I think, you know, seeing... with something that was kind of throwing me off was seeing John C. Reilly in a kind of serious Western role.
He's got a few serious roles out
there. Yeah, every once in a while I see him pop up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, he can, you know, be in a serious movie.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, I'm interested to check this one out, but have not yet. Super excited that Amazon sent a Blu-ray that has a slipcover.
Yeah.
Rarely happens. Rarely happens.
Probably...
They're like, what's this?
Yeah. They're like, people don't want those. Steve, your next pickups?
All right, next 3. We're starting to dip into the boutique purchases, and this one is from MVD. I've really been digging. I really want to dig deep in the MVD Rewind collection.
You have been going hard.
Because I want to support them. I know they're not the biggest company ever, and I really like what they do. And so this is Bram Stoker's Shadow Builder. I think it came out and it said like 98. Michael Rooker is the lead, and looks like he's a priest in this movie. I don't even want to read the back, honestly. I kind of just want to be surprised. But it comes with the slip, obviously, and then there's the alternate artwork there. And then it also comes with a nice poster there. I'm not going to open it up, but it's just the MVD artwork there. So nice. Like I said, MVD, I know they're not the biggest company, so I want to support them. They go out of their way to put posters in there and nice new artwork in a slipcase. So Shadow Builder. And the next one is a Blue Underground. I found used. The Prowler.
Hey.
The Prowler.
Spoilers.
So never seen this one. This always comes up on the list of good one-off slashers from the 80s.
It's great.
So excited to own that one. And then one I'm really excited to watch. I don't know if this was Brad Pitt's first role, but it was very early on in his career. And this is the brand new Vinegar Syndrome release of Cutting Class. And this is actually what the reversible artwork is. I turned it around. It comes with DVD and Blu-ray, and this is what the other side looks like. I can't decide which side I like better. They're both really good. I don't know. They just invoke a sense of nostalgia on both sides. So I'm very, very excited to watch this one. And this is region free. And Vinegar Syndrome's been killing it lately. So there's that.
All right, my next 3 pickups here are my first Kino, producer Mike.
Yeah.
And that's Mario Bava's Black Sunday. Got this for a really, really cheap price. Could not pass it up. Mario Bava, of course, is kind of like some old school horror. Really excited to check that movie out. And then next up, shout out to Ghoul Squad, the podcast. They were the ones that led me to this Blu-ray. This is a Italian release of Inside, the French movie, which only has a DVD release in America. This is region free, although it says region B on the back. But unfortunately, there are no English subtitles, so you have to watch the English dub. This comes with the English dub. No English subtitles, though.
Look! Over there!
I watched a little bit, though, and I watched a little bit of the dub, and it wasn't that bad. So I'm thinking it's going to be okay. Really curious to check this movie out. It's a French extremity film, so hopefully it is nice and disturbing. And then coming from Mill Creek, shout out to Mill Creek. You're always doing the Lord's work, putting out random movies. And that is Queens of Scream. This is a triple pack with I Know What You Did Last Summer, When a Stranger Calls, and Vacancy. I only really bought this because it came with I Know What You Did Last Summer, which the normal Mill Creek release is super expensive, and I love that movie. Super awesome, fun, late 90s slasher with Freddie Prinze, you know, all the good people in that.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Mm-hmm. So it was like $6, so I really only wanted it for
wait a minute.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in the movie.
I thought I was thinking of something else.
Justin, your next pick, brother.
Continuing my Amazon pickups, I have Suspiria.
Nice.
With the slip. I think every copy comes with the slip, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd hope so, because it is an Amazon movie.
Yeah. So, 2 Halloweens ago, we had the original Suspiria playing kind of in the background. I was kind of half watching it. So, do you think I should give the original Suspiria a full watch through before watching this? Because I have not watched this yet.
I don't think it's
do you think it's irrelevant?
I don't think it's really necessary. You should watch Suspiria as a horror fan.
Yeah.
But I think really the remake of Suspiria is only similar in like a skeletal plot line and name. But the actual contents of the movie are really different.
Plug the review.
And you could check out producer Mike and I's review of Suspiria, which people seem to enjoy. So check that out.
Everyone enjoys our content.
True.
Everyone.
That's why we have 1 million subs.
We're about to pass feuds.
Yeah.
Except for that one comment I made in the Blu-ray collection for saying, I think Pulp Fiction's a little overrated. Pulp Fiction overrated? Are you high? That's the top comment on that video. But Suspiria.
Steve, your next picks?
The next 3, keeping it going, another brand new Vinegar Syndrome, and this is the flipped over cover, and that is Uninvited. This movie is literally about an evil cat inside of another cat.
On a boat.
On a boat. That kills people.
Why a movie exists like this? Who knows?
What else can be said? And the next, I'll just do these both at the same time. The Region B versions of Demons and Demons 2.
Not actual Dario Argento movies.
But close.
But I think he produced them.
Yeah.
You know, one of those scenarios.
So I actually found these used, and so I haven't seen either of them, and excited to watch them. And anytime I can find used arrows, I really don't care what they are.
True.
So Demons and Demons 2. The Demoning.
The Demoning.
Or is it Demon? Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Ooh, baby. My next 3, I now have all of Game of Thrones. This is season 7. Easily the worst season of Game of Thrones.
6 or 7?
I'd have to rewatch, which I will get there eventually, but fresh in my mind, this was my least favorite season of Game of Thrones, just because it's really convenient. all of the characters and everything that happens is super convenient. No spoilers, but happy to at least complete the series. And then I got a meme here, and that is Slender Man on Blu-ray. One of my favorite comedies of last year, although it is not a comedy, but I certainly had a good laugh in theaters watching it, and I want my brothers to see it. I want us to I want us to all laugh together.
I love watching movies that are bad with a group of friends, and it's really funny. But spending money on the horrible movies that you watch, ironically,
that's where I come in.
So,
that's where I draw the line.
It was a family video purchase. It was a family video.
It wasn't no full price.
Yeah. And then,
or was it?
No. And then next up was a blind buy, but a movie I wanted to see when it was in theaters, and this was another family video purchase, and that's Pawn Sacrifice, starring our boy, Tobey Maguire.
Another comfort actor.
Is it about? I think it's literally a movie about chess, but that's okay, because...
Is that Sabretooth?
Yes, and Liev Schreiber, or however you pronounce his name.
So it's a USA versus the USSR type thing, huh?
Yeah, I believe so. From in the Cold War.
Propaganda!
The tagline is, in the Cold War, one battle made history.
And no one's heard of it until now.
So those were my picks. Justin, your next pick?
My next pick is another Amazon purchase, and that is...
Lay off the Amazon purchases.
Sorry, I'm a scumbag.
I average one Amazon package a week.
Used to be 2.
I was just gonna say that.
This is The Lobster by Yorgos Lanthimos. I've seen 3 of his films now, and he's honestly becoming one of my favorite modern directors. Between The Lobster and The Killing of the Sacred Deer.
Does
he have
more than 3 movies?
Yeah, he directed a movie called Dogtooth, which I have not seen, and I think maybe a few others. The Lobster was great. If you ever want a good time, for anyone who really loves this movie, go ahead and read the Amazon reviews.
Oh boy.
Absurdism goes over people's head like it's nothing. Like, the overall theme and message of this movie would be really easy to understand if it was, but like, he obviously intentionally throws all this weird, absurd stuff to throw the viewer off, and I think a lot of people are turned off. I mean, you've seen The Killing of a Sacred Deer, so it's really similar to tone, about just the way people talk to each other and things like that. But I absolutely loved it. I loved the message it has to say about society and relationships, and I think this is probably my favorite from him, between this and the Killing of a Sacred Deer. But very, very glad I picked this up. It was a little pricey on Amazon. It was like $15.94. For whatever reason, it's just one of the more expensive ones, but I'm really glad I purchased it. Probably my favorite pickup of the month.
Pick of the month.
Pick of the month, right here.
Steve, your next 3?
The last 3.
Wow.
A great pick.
We got a dub coming too.
Okay.
So I'll dub up.
One of my favorite movies.
You bring this into my home. The Disrespect.
Is it really one of your favorites?
Yes.
I've never
I love
seen
John Hughes. It's a John Hughes movie, and that is The Breakfast Club Criterion.
Criterion.
Yeah. This has a new 4K digital restoration. It's got some cool special features on there. And yeah, of course. I love this movie. Love John Hughes. He just makes nice and warm and cozy movies.
Fuzzy.
So, A Breakfast Club Criterion. And the next one is a double. And I'm so glad.
The Daily Double.
Valentine. The early 2000s slasher. Very, very underrated, I think. I had always seen that cover in video stores growing up, and never watched it. But as soon as I heard that it was getting a screen, I was like, oh my, I recognize that movie. And luckily it was on like Vudu streaming for free. So I was like, I'm gonna watch this, see if it's gonna be worth it. And I loved it. It's just it's right up my alley. There's a new metal soundtrack. It's a great slasher. There's some decent kills in here. And they actually have some extended death scenes, I think. Or maybe I dreamed that up. I don't know.
Fever dream.
Yeah.
Mark it up to the fever dreams.
Either way, Valentine.
Yeah, I totally remember that movie.
Totes.
Didn't fall asleep.
And the next one is another great release. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an updated transfer. However,
Ooh.
that is Stephen King's
Scream Factory getting a little lazy.
Sleepwalkers. Notoriously scoffed at, notoriously bad movie, but I love it for everything that it is. That's the original artwork. It comes with a lot of new features. 2 to be exact. 2 new features.
A lot of new features. 2.
But
every episode. I love it.
I'm sorry, 3 new features. But this movie is absolutely batshit insane. It's hilarious, but it has great practical effects, and it is...
Isn't it about, like, cat people?
Yes.
Like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island?
Yes. Precisely.
Nice.
And it stars, if I can pronounce her name correctly, Madchen Amick. You might know her as Shelley from Twin Peaks. Or, I was going to say the neighbor on Wish Upon, but no, that's a different Twin Peaks actor. That's Audrey. Yeah, fucking amazing movie. Love it to death. Sleepwalkers.
Next 3 from me. Another family video, Blind Buy, a movie I've heard a lot about that looks like a lot of fun, and that is Mom and Dad, starring Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair. It's a movie about Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair wanting to kill their children at any means necessary. It's kind of a comedy. It's kind of a little bit of a horror. Looked like a lot of fun, so I was like, why not? And then 2 movies I've never owned on Blu-ray, and that's Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. Good movies. I actually rewatched Paranormal Activity 2 the other night, and it was a lot of fun. I had fun. I didn't really remember a lot of it. It is a little boring in some spots upon the revisit. But I haven't watched number 1 in a long time.
Yeah, I like the first one.
1, I think it could be a certified classic. It really jump-started, for better or for worse, found footage movies again.
Probably for worse.
But my favorites are 1 and 3.
Well, 3 is good. I will pick up 3 if I can find it.
And the marked ones is good too.
3 is just terrifying because when he goes in the garage and it's just all those boomers.
All the grannies, yeah.
Scary.
Being like, excuse me, sir, I need some customer service.
Justin, your final pickup, another dub.
Yeah, that will be a double for us.
And that is Overlord.
On 4K.
Great film.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. You inspired me to go and pick it up, actually, because you said it was pretty good.
I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. It's got Kurt Russell's son in it, Wyatt Russell. And for the first part of the movie, I was like, why does this actor look so familiar? and then I Googled it, and I was like, oh! And you could tell by like a lot of his mannerisms and his acting that he is definitely Kurt Russell's son. And that was awesome, because it was kind of like, almost like watching a young Kurt Russell in a movie about essentially Nazi zombies. Total like grindhouse flick. God bless J.J. Abrams for throwing money at this movie for it to be made and have a high enough budget to do what it needs to. Because you watch this movie and you're like, how did this have the budget? How was this a wide release in theaters? Because it's just completely zany.
Overlord.
And then my final 2 picks. Unfortunately, when I was out of town, there was a disc replay. They were closing down.
R.I.P.
So I went in there. Everything was super cheap, so I picked up Shark Night, which is a surprisingly decent shark movie. Definitely would categorize it in the it's bad, but I was surprised with this. I watched it a couple years ago, just randomly. I was in the mood for a shark movie, but I didn't really want to watch Jaws or Deep Blue Sea. And I would say this is easily the 3rd best shark movie.
You love yourself some shark movies.
Yeah, shark movies are always fun, and that movie is...
Shallows?
No, that movie was boring. And then my last pickup is Super, the James Gunn film, which again is a very hilarious, disgusting, gross movie with Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page. It's about Rainn Wilson becoming a superhero, but he just hits people in the head with a wrench, and hilarity ensues. So those are my final picks, and that brings us to the end of the video. Those were all of our pickups for the month of February. It was a great month for some nice cheap movies. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on it. Subscribe if you are new. We're always doing monthly Blu-ray updates. We do boutique Blu-ray unboxing videos. We talk about action figures if you're into that sort of thing. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when we're posting those uploads, because YouTube doesn't like to notify people when you actually upload a video, even if you're a subscriber. Of course, I'm Nate. I've been joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And Steven.
Take care.
And we will see you guys next time on Out of the Basement.